So this is now the litmus test, because if you look at that and you go, no, Bernie, I hate him now. He's saying he almost made fun of people in different ethnic groups. He's not doing identity politics. I hate him, and I'm not going to join his class action. Okay, well there we have it.
Yeah.
I love that class action. I love uniting us all. I love black people in the movement. I love white people in the movement. I love gay and straight people in the movement. I'm not going to tell any of them to shut up. I'm not going to tell any of them that they're inferior.
See, he says he loves uniting us all, but let's go ahead and take a look at this guy, right? This guy whose podcast they were on.
Now, conservatives got 3 baby mamas. The president got 3 baby mamas. He's getting pussy left and right. Right? He's cool. He's the one saying, say whatever the fuck you want. So now conservatives have become Democrats. So I don't think I've changed. I just like the dudes that get pussy and say whatever they want. So it's you want me to be a Democrat again? Get some pussy. Tell me to say whatever I want.
Now, here's the problem. Is this, how does this bring us together? Okay, this makes it seem like, Cenk, if this is what you're about, this is the guy that you think is so cool and Bernie's ingratiating himself or like letting these guys off the hook. But you think the people that, the black people that don't want to get called the N-word by white guys, they don't like the say whatever you want. The transgender people don't like the say whatever you want. The women don't like the, hey man, we just get to get pussy whenever we like it, right? These attitudes expressed by here of the whole, what are you all about? They run very counter to all of us uniting, okay? You can't unite with these guys unless you let them fucking just sort of be denigrating like that. All right, Cenk, you there? You with us? You following? This ain't about uniting here. This is a very right-wing methodology here.
In fact, I'll be livid if anyone says to any of those groups that they are inferior or they need to know their role. None of that's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen against black people. And yes, it's not gonna happen against white people. I know on the left, they'll say it's never happened against white people. Okay, whatever, I don't care. Stop dividing us. Stop dividing us, okay? So you're either in for that class action that Bernie's talking about, or you're not, okay? So make a choice. And again, I don't know I know the rad libs, they're gonna be like, no way. And remember, a lot of the rad libs are rich and they're upper middle class and they don't want things to change. That's why.
Yeah, Cenk and Anna are rich too.
Why Bernie bothers them more than anybody does.
Exactly.
Because Bernie actually unlike Trump, Bernie means it. So when they see Bernie, it's nails on a chalkboard for them. They're like, oh, he would change my privileged position. Identity politics, right?
Yep.
So now, but again, for my friends on the far left who we thought we agreed with on 98% of issues, I hope you still hold on to your principles that you stated. I mean, unless your principles have changed and you don't care about those things anymore and you only care about culture wars, then okay, then that's your call.
It's not about only caring about culture wars, Cenk. It's about like, we don't really want to align with people like this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Cenk's positions have changed because the reality is this guy doesn't really want the fucking populism. Okay, this guy right here that Cenk, these guys, whatever, these right-wing bros or whatever, this guy doesn't want Medicare for all. This guy doesn't want, he himself said he wants to get pussy and be able to say whatever he wants. Like, the far left people, we don't, like those of us that believe in civil rights and believe that women should get to be more than just pussy and that we shouldn't just say whatever we want if it's harmful to marginalized people. We're not gonna coalition with this fucking guy, right? You'll coalition with this fucking guy because you're from a space of privilege. You're wealthy, and as long as you get to like get some power and have your super PAC and get some of your people in Congress so you can try to rejuvenate your fucking channel and get more corporate money, right? And can have your big riches and shit. You don't care that these guys, if women get thrown under the bus or transgender people get thrown under the bus. Dude, yeah, he keeps saying, stop dividing us. But yes, Cenk, you bitch ass fool, keep shouting, stop dividing us, while you super compartmentalize every person, right? Oh my God, dude. This guy is so fucking privileged. But can you see how Cenk and this guy are the same? Right? Because this guy's like, all I want is to get some pussy and say whatever I want. But like Cenk Uygur, those were his blogs. He wants to say the N-word. He wants to look at the camel toes, talk about the camel toes. He wants to be able to bust the union, get elected, be in Congress, have money, get some pussy, right? And fucking jank out.
The sides switched so much.
Yeah, the sides haven't switched, man. Society changed, and fucking progressives left people like Andrew Schulz. He got left behind because all of a sudden women don't want to just be pussy, right? And a lot of men don't want women to just be pussy.
So finally, let's get to the clip that all the fuss is about. This is what really set the Democratic establishment off. Let's take a look.
We felt that over the last 4 elections, Democrats, we felt that we didn't have a say on who could be president. We talk a lot about the Republicans being autocrats and oligarchs and taking over democracy, but from the Democrat perspective, and I'm a lifelong Democrat, I felt like the Democratic Party completely removed the democratic process from its constituents. And I think they need to have some accountability of that.
No argument here.
I donated for you. I mean, I wanted you to, like, 2016, I was like, this is going to happen. This guy's going to do it. And it felt like they stole.
Yeah, see, it's weird, though, that, like, I just don't feel like this guy was really a lifelong Democrat. You know what I mean? I mean, I get it. He voted with the Democratic Party, but I don't know that he was actually, like, I don't know. He seemed like he didn't want Obama to win re-election. And he didn't want the women running and shit like that. And he thinks Trump is cool. There's no fucking way that this guy was a lifelong Democrat. I mean, don't you get the feeling? I like what you said. He's a vibe surfer. Don't you get the feeling that he's doing that MAGA porn, right? And you know what I call MAGA porn, right? It's people who are right wingers and they're firmly ensconced with Trumpism, but they act like they were lifelong Democrats. And the Democratic Party has just gotten so bad, so unreasonable that, man, we had to come over to you guys because you're really the cool people. The ones who grab them by the pussy and fucking deport everybody and get to say the N-word and fucking say whatever you want. Get to grab women's asses at work. And there's no fucking, no, you're not going to get me too'd. Dude, that's the MAGA porn, right? They were not really Democrats. Real Democrats, we looked at Bill Clinton, we're like, dude was gross. You know what I'm saying? Like,
To be honest, it broke my heart when you supported him.
Ostensibly, there hasn't been a fair primary for the Democrats since 2008. Are they not also a threat to democracy? Yes. We often hear.
Fair enough. That is. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that point.
I mean, but where's the lie? They're upset with him.
Yeah,
but where's the lie? Where's the lie? Because if I recall, after Kamala Harris and the Democrats in general were shellacked in the 2024 election cycle.
They shellacked. Dude, they 1.4%. Kamala almost won it, even with subterfuge, racist motherfuckers like these guys infecting her. And all the Gaza and all the Joe Biden, she still almost won. I'm not going to call a 1.4% loss a shellacking. Reagan beating Carter in 1980, that was a shellacking. Okay, but like 1.4%? Come on, man. Come on.
You had a few Democratic lawmakers who were establishment individuals, by the way, who were willing to come forward, do a little bit of self-reflection. And some of them recalled what happened in 2016. And they fully admitted that the Democratic establishment did whatever they needed to do to ensure that Bernie wouldn't be the Democratic nominee. And so where is the lie? Explain that to me.
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing about litigating this Bernie shit. Because I know Bernie's got resentment. He got dissed in 2016. He got dissed in 2020. Bernie should have been president, that Bernie thinks, and a lot of leftists. But here's the deal, okay? Here's the deal. If Bernie won as president, okay, let's give Bernie the fucking presidency. We're not going to have Medicare for all. We're not going to have higher minimum wage because nobody in Congress is going to work with Bernie to deliver those programs. So can we stop acting like Bernie's the goddamn holy grail? Like, come on, man. You think if Bernie gets in there, all of a sudden, all those people in Congress are just going to start cranking out this populist legislation? Like, come on, bro. Like, you know, he would have been Jimmy Cartered. Yes. He'd be Jimmy Cartered, like, to the fucking hilt, bro. Dude, come on. We know that Bernie would have been Jimmy Cartered. Thank you for pointing that out. He absolutely would have. And that doesn't mean that Bernie's not a great guy. I think Bernie's a great guy, but Bernie, you got to get over this Democratic Party resentment or just run as an independent and be the real fucking third wheel out there and do your fucking thing, right? And see what happens. But this Democratic resentment thing of thinking like you got screwed. Okay, you got screwed. Fine, you got screwed. Hillary got screwed too because she was the candidate that all of us Democrats wanted, and then Bernie Sanders came out of the blue and started just fucking rearranging everybody's pieces and shit and throwing this huge spoke in the wheel, okay? And then Kamala Harris, dude, we got rid of Biden and Kamala was in there, and it's like, goddamn, Kamala was gonna win this thing. And then all of a sudden, nope, no, she's not, because now, wait, she's not fucking blue enough. She's pandering to the middle. She's doing, she's talking to Liz Cheney, but now Cenk will talk to MAGA. So goddamn, if you can talk to MAGA, why couldn't you talk to Liz Cheney? Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? You like Bernie's honesty, though? Yeah, but I mean, he's not trying to spin it, but he is. Okay? He's not completely honest because I've not seen Bernie say, well, you know what? Even if you elect me, guys, we still have this problem that most of Congress ain't going to want to work with me. So we have a conundrum here, guys. I want to be your president, but if I become president, I don't think Congress is going to pass any of this shit, even if I win. Bernie's not completely honest, okay? He's not. He's honest in a like he is and he isn't, okay? Because he's not trying to spin it, but he is kind of spinning it. He's kind of spinning it. He's kind of saying that the Democrat establishment is playing identity politics, but they're not. Really, the right wing is playing identity politics, okay? Everybody's playing some type of identity politics because everybody's fighting for their fucking identity. Bernie's identity politics it's a class war, but it's not that simple because the class war, Bernie's class war is not realizing how much that identity really affects some of those people, right? And you know what I mean? And I'm not dissing Bernie because I like Bernie and he's a fighter, but he's pretty divisive, okay? And he's in a precarious situation now because he's out there talking this oligarchy shit, but at the end of the day, who's he handing those keys to? What's his fucking plan? He hasn't told us what he's going to do. Is he going to go out there? Bernie can sink the goddamn Democratic nominee. You know what I'm saying? Right? And so there's a fucking problem there. If anything, he plans to give AOC the keys. Well, okay. See, that would be fine if he gives AOC the keys. I mean, I like AOC giving the keys, but like, can a woman win in America when this, right?
Mamas, he's getting pussy left and right, right? He's cool. He's the one saying, say whatever the fuck you want. So now conservatives have become Democrats.
See, I don't think these guys are voting for a fucking woman, even if it's AOC, guys. I hate to break it to you. Okay? These guys aren't voting for AOC. This guy ain't fucking voting for AOC. Are you shitting me? I don't think this guy's voting for AOC. Come on. You think this guy is going to vote for AOC? I'm not buying it. I am not buying it. I don't think this guy would vote for Pete Buttigieg. Okay? Who would this guy vote for? This guy's going to vote for Trump. I know he said he's a lifelong Dem, but I don't think he is. I think he was a Dem because, he was a Democrat when Democrats were allowed to be rapey too. Okay? But now that you can't be rapey anymore, he's like, right? Now that you can't be rapey and anti-gay, remember Bill Clinton? Don't ask, don't tell. The gay people didn't really have rights, okay? And the women were still used to get blowjobs from by the powerful. So he was only a lifelong Dem when the Dems were rapey and got to use the F slur. Now that the Dems can't be rapey and use the F slur anymore, he's like, I don't want to be a Dem. I want to be with that fucking really cool Trump guy. Trump is not cool. Trump is a despicable, misogynist, transphobic, degenerate fucking piece of shit, okay? That would use anybody to get what he wants. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. I'm not convinced, though, that if Bernie gives the keys to AOC, these guys aren't voting for AOC, okay? These guys fucking hate AOC, okay? They do. They fucking don't like AOC. They like AOC when she's like, if she had an OnlyFans, maybe they'd like AOC, but come on, man. They look at AOC not like we look at AOC.
When you have the Democratic establishment manipulating the primary process in order to ensure their gal is the Democratic nominee, even if they know that the base was far more interested in making Bernie Sanders the Democratic nominee.
See, that's just it, though, right? Is when they say the base was far more interested in making Democratic nominee. Can we go back? Can we go back here to Bernie and Hillary? We got to look at this because they keep using the word the base, but like when we look at Bernie Sanders, when we look at the Democratic primaries, look at this. Look at this primary. Okay, look at this. Okay, look at the Alabama primary. Look at that. Clinton 77.81%. Bernie Sanders 19.22% in Alabama. You can't fucking tell me you have the base if that is your total. Okay, if you're winning 77% of Alabama, you have the Democratic Party base. Period. Like Bernie won in Oregon, okay? But he only won by 14%. Okay? Bernie won in Washington by 5%. Okay? Bernie won in Wisconsin by 13%. Now, what do we have here in all these green states? They're white people. God damn it. Okay, so Bernie, what base is she talking about when she talks about Bernie having the Democratic base? Because when I look at the states that are people of color in 2016, dude, Clinton won all of them. Okay? You know what I'm saying? In the white rural areas, like look at him in Idaho, dude, he fucking destroyed. But Idaho is white. Okay, there's like nobody of color in the fucking state of Idaho. So this is the problem. Is Bernie is like the white progressive base, the white populist base. But when you look down here, man, like Clinton slammed Bernie in all the places of color. Slammed him. Okay? And this was not stolen. This was not stolen shit. I mean, she fucking slammed him. This is the part. You can't win the Democratic primary without winning these states, guys. See, that's the conundrum, okay? Bernie says the Democratic establishment prevented me from winning in 2016. But no, he didn't. It was the people of color that are loyal Democratic voters that prevented Bernie from winning in 2016. Okay? You know what I'm saying? You can't win the Democratic Party without winning these states. And that's the problem. The black people, right? didn't really swing for Bernie, okay? And there's a reason why the black people didn't swing for Bernie, because Bernie's a white populist, okay? Because he's from Vermont. And that's Bernie's conundrum, is he's a white populist, okay? This is why if Bernie had switched to Republican, he could probably be a leftist Republican. I think Bernie should run as a Republican. Dude, that would be a wrench thrower. What would happen there? Oh, shit, bro. Right? Bernie, run as a Republican instead of a Democrat. Try to fucking snag their base. Right? Shit, bro. But yeah, this is the problem. This is the part that like makes Bernie bros hate me, because I know we talk about the DNC and we talk about the superdelegates, we talk about Bernie getting screwed, but the problem is you can't win the Democratic primary winning 78,000 votes in Alabama. You can't fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? Is like, you gotta have the black vote, guys. You gotta have the black vote, like in a major fucking way. And Hillary had the black vote in a major fucking way, okay, in all of the primary states. I know the Bernie bros hate me though, because the thing is you saw her say that Bernie had the base. Listen to this, okay?
When you have the Democratic establishment manipulating the primary process in order to ensure their gal is the Democratic nominee, even if they know that the base was far more interested in making Bernie Sanders the Democratic nominee.
But look at this. When we look at 2016, like the base, California is the fucking base, guys. 53% Clinton, okay? The black people in the South are part of the base, man. Black women, 96% Democrat. Black women. Goddamn, bro. Black women are the fucking base, bro. And black women were not voting for fucking Bernie Sanders, dude. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.